was already dark when I found myself in front of a music club. I occasionally visit to see the local underground bands. Yeah, like Alyssa from Russia. If daytime in Tokyo still felt as warm as in summer, the evenings were getting increasingly colder. I wrapped myself more tightly in my denim jacket and shivered. The house was some distance from the club, so it made sense to go in and warm up. The inside of the club was pretty crowded. Cigarette smoke hung heavy, and the air was saturated with the spicy aromas of beer, sake, whiskey, plus God knows what else. Frankly, drinking hadn't been on my to-do list for the day, but this was too much to pass up. I got a beer from the bar and squeezed myself closer to the stage. First band was playing some basic heavy metal. Japanese bands that played this kind of music didn't try to reinvent the wheel, happy to copy the Western masters. Some did it better than others. This band was only so-so, which is why the majority of the audience was occupied with anything and everything except listening to the music. The unfortunate metalheads couldn't possibly not have noticed, and by the end I'd given up, just trying not to make complete fools of themselves. Then again, who was I to judge? I can play my bass even at their level. The next band was dressed in 70s fashion, a sure sign that some old school rock was to follow, so I went off to wander the club. Although I would come here from time to time, I never made any friends. I usually just stood around by myself, guzzling beer. It was pointless to expect international stars here, and I only cared about the local bands so far as they helped me while away yet another boring evening. I remembered how I brought Catherine here once, although she hadn't liked it at all. Himitsu, meanwhile, refused to go to concerts at all for some reason. A young couple was cuddling in the corner. I watched them for a good while and suddenly felt revulsion. No, that won't do, I told myself. Tonight, at least, I'm going to relax. I dashed to the bar, downed 3 shots of whiskey, goddamn, picked up another beer, and headed back to the crowd. This time, at a far less steady gait. Yeah, no shit. You went to the bar, took 3 shots, like one after the other, like god damn, homie. Then just yoinked another beer and was like, oh. The old farts had finished playing, and the stage was now occupied by some glam rockers tuning their instruments. Come on, let's get rockin', I yelled. The guy standing near me glanced my way and said, we're gonna rock alright, don't you worry. What are you playing too, or what? Sure am. No, you're on the stage. They're all busy tuning. No need tuning. I'm always tuned. He adjusted his sunglasses. Why was he wearing them indoors? 'Cause he's cool, alright? That's how this works. See, oh, the green eye. Oh. Homie. Oh. Those eyes, baby boy. See you. With that, the guy disappeared into the dressing room. The lights dimmed and the speakers erupted with the first guitar chords. Hi everybody, we're Z Feel Z. A familiar voice came over the microphone as bright lights beamed down from the rafters. Standing center stage in a rather unusual outfit was Ellie, guitar in hand. Standing, then singing and playing. Now this I was not ready for, I said out loud, but no one could hear me over the thundering music. Yesterday's episode in the old music classroom came right back to me. Had the money driven her insane? I can understand learning music on the side, but this here? I listened more intently. They were actually pretty good. I wonder they've been asked to headline. The crowd clearly took well to the music, too. As the first song ended, Ellie shouted thank you to the mic and surveyed the audience, lingering on me for a second. Did she spot me? Judging by the surprise and even embarrassment on her face, she did. Oh! We have vocals. So what? Did she really think no one would find out about her nighttime transformation from perfect student and lady into the queen of Tokyo's glam rock scene? I chuckled. Belfour? Where'd you come from? That weird kid, the keyboardist for Z Feel Z, was staying next to me again. He was just up on stage. He's going to take some effort. Look, we just go to the same school to sort of know each other. Oh, is that so? God, homie, quit flashing them eyes at me. You get me feeling all sorts of ways. His eyes flashed from behind his sunglasses. What kind of dumb name is that anyway? Z Feel. It's pronounced Zed Feels. Like the anime robot, you know? I don't know. I don't know Zed feels like the anime robot. I looked at him skeptically. It's to direct fans. If the jam-packed club floor was any indication, Zed Feels didn't like for fans. At least not around here. The crowd was getting hyped up in anticipation of the next song. An instant later, the guy I'd been talking to was back on stage behind his instrument. They were playing some kind of ballad. Ellie kept shooting angry looks my way. Of course, I was here just so I could distract her from her performance. Still, she did have a nice voice and played well too. Maybe she had a gift, but even so, to get this far, with all her obligations and responsibilities as the scion of a respected family, time is finite after all. I had no obligations, no responsibilities, and yet all I'd learned to play were 2 or 3 songs from tabs. Don't call me out like that. Goddamn. Keyboardist left the keyboard again. Come on, shoot me that look again, my guy. I suddenly felt a surge of respect for Ellie and backed away from the stage so as not to embarrass her further. I leaned back against a wall where she couldn't see me. She doesn't do as well without you. Anger imparts strength. What the hell? You guys are playing now. As in, right now. Right now, there's a solo. This kid was starting to get to me, so I went back to stand near the stage. Seeing me, Ellie fumbled with her strings, a metallic twang rolling out from the speakers. Were her fans and servants going to lynch me now? But she quickly recovered and carried on playing as though nothing had happened. Once the song was over and before the next one began, Ellie suddenly shook her finger at me from the stage. That was just ridiculous. How was that my fault? Was she obsessed or what? I made a point of not looking at her, focusing my attention on the other members of Zed Feels. The basses looked fairly ordinary, almost to a fault. Hey, don't call out bassists like that. That hurts. Considering the band's style, I'd have expected edgier attire. Still, he was better at it than I was. How long would it have taken me to be able to play his parts as cleanly? I could make out the drummer's features behind his equipment, and unfortunately, I'd already met the keyboardist. What do you mean, unfortunately? The keyboardist is the fucking pinnacle of that group. What, you think Ellie? Nah, Ellie can fucking get fucked, alright? That keyboardist, though, homie hit me up. That turned out to be their last song. The audience demanded an encore, but the band quickly disappeared off stage. Maybe they didn't have a particularly large repertoire. What was I going to do next? On one hand, I wanted to talk to Ellie and tell her that I liked her music. On the other, wouldn't that sound like a trite compliment? Besides, she was clearly not happy to see me at her concert. While I contemplated, the crowd began to disperse, and Zed Fields still hadn't emerged from the dressing room. They must have left through the back door. Oh well, I didn't have much to say to her anyway. Still, I was grateful to Ellie. Her music had allowed me to escape my problems, if only briefly. The club was almost empty now, but I remained frozen in the middle of the dance floor, immersed in my own thoughts. Usually I would leave before the end of a concert in high spirits, rather than hang around for the bitter aftertaste of fun's conclusion. Either it had gotten warmer outside, or the alcohol was warming me up. Somehow I made it home in no time at all. Another note for Himitsu rested on the doorstep. Surely this time she could have let herself in with her keys since I hadn't bolted the door from the inside. Yeah, I can already kind of tell from this music that note's not from Himitsu, is it? She could have made dinner and waited for me like she'd done the day before. But the note made it clear that I couldn't even begin to count on it. What? Did she think that I was just out having fun? The note, the mysteries, the man shadowing me. Just because I couldn't tell her about all that stuff didn't mean I didn't want to. So I'd gone to a concert. What did it matter? A guy had to enjoy some culture once in a while. And of course, none of this was Himitsu's fault. I was just tired of her incessant misplaced worrying. I started to feel like I was in a cage when I was around her. Children usually become more independent as they age, but Himitsu had essentially replaced my deceased parents, and little had actually changed in my life. But to take all this for granted, did I really feel no gratitude towards her? Judging by the note, she wasn't just upset, but hurt too. Maybe I could at least call her. I didn't need to give any details, just tell her that everything was okay. I could, of course, stop by her place, but it was already late, I reeked of alcohol, and a phone call was enough in this situation. I dialed the phone number I'd known since childhood. Almost immediately, her voice came over the line. Hello, Nico-kun? Just about what I expected. I'm sorry I disappeared today. Silence on the other end. You wouldn't believe me if I told you I had things to do, would you?
Did you?
I sighed heavily.
I'm hurt you're hiding something from me.
If I was, there'd be good reasons for it. But I'm not hiding anything. Haha! Damn, wait, bro. Yeah, no, you convinced her with that one. Listen, if I were hiding things, I would have very good reasons. But hey, I'm not. Ah, my guy. The inane laugh was meant to diffuse the situation. It just sounds like you're mocking her.
I'm always here for you if anything happens.
Okay, I'll see you at school tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night. I hung up and paused to think. What if I told her everything? I doubted Himitsu could help me in any way, but at least I wouldn't have to shoulder my problems alone. I was gazing at the phone, was just about to head to bed when it rang. Himitsu again? Nope. Did she forget to say something? Like Nikolai. Yeah, hi. I started automatically. Seriously, who else would call me this late? Who else would call me, period? Nikolai-kun. But I was wrong. It was Ichinose-san. Ichinose-san? I'm listening. Nikolai-kun, not hard about whether to call you. After I did tell you this morning to keep out of this business. But I owe much to your father, you see. And since he's no longer with us, the least I can do is repay my debt to his son. I simply didn't know what to say. Are you listening to me? Yes, absolutely. I'm all ears. I don't know all that much myself. Nor is your father, I suspect. But there is a person. Write this down. No. Memorize it. His name is Akira Shinji. He used to work with your father. And but he was laid off. He now owns a little restaurant somewhere on the waterfront. Ichinose fell silent for a moment, then continued hastily. Nikolai, I don't know if you're in any danger, but please be careful. Ichinose-san, which waterfront exactly? There's so many in Tokyo. The name is pretty common. I can't. I have to go. Take care of yourself. He hung up. He was clearly afraid of something. Afraid, yes, but he still called and warned me, and even gave me a clue. Although the name alone might not end up being enough. For some reason, I felt no fear at that moment. More like reckless excitement and boldness. Probably owing to the quantity of the alcohol consumed earlier. The second I got off the call with Ichinose, I felt incredibly sleepy. I barely made it to my bed before crashing. Okay. Things are picking up real quick. Alright, I'm about it. I woke up early with a headache, the dry horrors, and a terrible feeling of meaningless existence. Good thing I always had aspirin in my medical kit. Then again, that was the only thing in there in the first place. After washing the pill down with a couple glasses of cold water, I figured that yesterday didn't really end too badly. At least today I hadn't slept in all the way to lunchtime. The memories started to return slowly. Viscous and heavy, they surfaced in my mind, bringing with them a tugging unease. I suddenly felt uncomfortable alone in this giant empty house. I definitely needed to go to school. At this rate, I might really get myself expelled. It wasn't about my attendance, of course. I just desperately wanted to be among other people. I stepped out into the street, the chilly wind immediately chasing away the last remnants of my hangover. It was still too early even for Himitsu. Oh well, we talked yesterday. Although the early part seemed to only apply to me, life in Tokyo was already in full swing. The office workers were on their way to work, clad in identical snow-white shirts. Grocery stores and all kinds of shops were opening up. Cheerful old women were striking up conversations with each other. I was walking down the street, enjoying life. I'd never noticed before that small things like these made the world a much more attractive place than I thought it was. Could anything really go wrong? Oof, that's not the right line to say, my guy. That's not what you want to be leading with. Could anything really go wrong here? Like, homie. Fearing for my own safety, even my own life, made me realize I wasn't ready to change anything yet. Just up and return to the USSR? No, that was absurd. It was the rambling of a drunken teenager. What was I supposed to do then? Fight here and now? Or just go with the flow? After all, there was no way a life as wonderful as this could be senselessly cruel at the same time, was there? The world turned its friendly smiling face to me, and my stomach responded with as friendly a rumble. And to think that when the morning had started, even the thought of food had made me want to puke. I entered a small restaurant and happily ate a bowl of ramen. All my worries faded into the background, hope glimmered in the distance. I was just getting all worked up about nothing. There's nothing scary really going on. For a year and a half, I've been living as if in anabiosis, so now every little thing seemed like a problem of galactic proportions. If something really did happen to me, for example, if I received a visit from the police, I ended up having a heart attack. I just need to calm down, wait it out, all my problems would resolve themselves. Yep, that's how life works. And if not, I deal with them as they came. Once I got to school, I was swept up in the crowd of students. I'd spent a good half hour in the ramen shop, and it wasn't as early in the morning by then. Japanese, Americans, French, Russians. Sometimes it seemed to me that my school was a little too international. It was a good thing, though. I didn't feel as alien among them, for instance, sitting at a narrow counter on a low chair in a typical Japanese snack bar. Several guys shook my hand on the run. Some girl even flashed me a smile. I recall being in the same class as the girl last year, but wouldn't be able to remember her name even if my life depended on it. I was close to saying I was happy, but... At the lockers, I ran into Catherine. Hi. You're early today. She gave an unexpectedly polite response. Yeah, skipped yesterday. Can't keep ditching school forever. Decided to get yourself together, really. Catherine looked at me wide-eyed, then frowned. Oh, I see. She had that smile on her lips again. I ignored it and said simply, yeah, you know, so much has happened lately. May have been feeling fine, but I couldn't hide my swollen face. Especially not from Catherine. Well, so, Oh, enough already. What are you still staring at me for? You know it all. Emotion shifted quickly on Catherine's face. Surprise gave way to indifference. She lost interest. That's not what Or maybe that too. I don't want to fight anymore. I just think you have to understand my reaction. Put yourself in my shoes or something. What are you even talking about? Catherine asked nonchalantly. About everything. Don't pretend you don't understand. Don't understand what? I didn't even know how to talk to her anymore. Alright, you want me to understand you? I do now. Oh, here we go again. Is that your way of mocking me? Why would I be mocking you? Well, that's what I thought. That's what I should be asking you. First you come back for no reason, then you transfer into my class and pretend like it's how it should be. Show at least a morsel of respect. What should I respect you for? Like on near Catherine, I'd already forgotten to even think about yesterday's events and what I'd been thinking about this morning. Or just don't talk to me anymore. I'm tired of degrading myself for you. Struggling to get you to at least treat me like I'm human. It looked like she wasn't ready for this kind of reaction. Just make your choice. Turned around and ran up the stairs to the second floor. God damn. Homie is not having it. Oh god. Kyosuke, no, I'm sorry, homie. You're gonna be catching some strays. Man is in a terrible mood. Hey, Nick, where have you been? Kyosuke was as carefree as ever. Drinking. I snarled. Gotcha. You're not in the mood. Talk to you later then. I love that. Hey, man, what have you been up to? Drinking. Like, alright. Moving on. He responded sadly. Catherine entered the class almost immediately after me. There were still several minutes left until the bell, and they dragged on tormentingly slowly. It'll be easier during the lesson. It'll be easier, I kept telling myself. Meanwhile, Catherine wasn't paying any attention to me at all. No, this was crossing the line now. It had stopped being mockery and turned into outright cruelty. She crashed headfirst riding into a bike in those United States of hers. Right into the Grand Canyon. Bro, you are not about to start shit, are you? The bell finally rang. During the lesson, I could only think about Catherine. A burning, to the point of shuddering, desire to turn around and look at her swelling in my chest. I couldn't manage to distract myself with anything. Yesterday's conversation with Ichinose and the mysterious threat hanging over my head seemed to have suddenly lost all meaning. A single thought was pulsating in my head. I need to sort out my relationship with her once and for all. You are not going to do this in the middle of the classroom right now, my guy. Please tell me that's not what you're about to do. You're not about to turn around and be like, alright, Catherine, where do we stand? What are we? What's going on? Where are we going from here? Like, homie, I know you're hungover as fuck, but like, you need to like, chill. Use your brain a little bit. Dial it back and approach this a bit normally, yeah? I could figure out if I still loved her or not later. Now I needed to. Get into what? Ah, god damn it, I can't do this anymore. With a loud thud, I hit the desk with my forehead. Okay, good. Are you alright? I heard muffled laughter and whispers. Couldn't be better, Sensei. Just checking if there's anything in my head. The teacher didn't even raise an eyebrow. He'd seen a lot working at this school. Maybe you should go to the doctor. Oh, no, I'm telling you, I'm fine. Well, do what you want. Just don't interfere with the lesson. After that circus performance, I felt a bit better. Surprisingly, the planet kept spinning, paying no attention to my problems. The bell for break rang. I was approached by Michael. Seemed like he wasn't going to start a conversation, but for some reason he looked at me over intently. What is it? I finally asked. You're not yourself today. It's because of yesterday. Yesterday? How do you know? I mean the conversation in the cafe. Oh, yeah, right, the cafe. No, it's not about that. Everything's fine. Or will be, even if it isn't now. Without even turning her head, Catherine walked past us. I stared after her and must have made quite a face. I see, Michael said dispassionately. What do you see? I was getting worked up again. Are all of you Americans like this? Like what? Like this. Completely disregarding of other people. Poking your noses in others' business. Insensitive, cold, and cruel. I think you're talking about someone specific right now. The gritting of my teeth must have been audible to the whole class. You know what, Misha? Fuck you, got it? Fuck you to hell. Last thing I need are your questions and observations. Don't meddle in other people's lives. Mind your own. God damn. Homie keep popping out with the fuck you. I stood up, looked him up and down, but Michael didn't look away. Then I pushed him away with my shoulder and left the room. Good God, what the hell was I doing? Yeah, that homie's just lashing out at one of the few people who still at least talk to me. Maybe he wanted to help. After all, Michael's no Kyosuke. The latter would immediately start to run around, dolefully wringing his hands, and what good would that make? Sometimes it really is better to look at a situation with a cool head. Definitely had to apologize to him. But later. I just wanted to switch gears and get away from the classroom. To be alone, or at least with someone who wouldn't pry into my soul. With Himitsu, for example. Yeah, right. As if she wouldn't. Although, if she were to see my present condition, Himitsu would probably understand. So... y'all know where I'm going. Y'all know where I'm going. I like Himitsu. But Kagome's already got my attention. Just from the drop. In the end, it was stupid to think I'd be able to distract myself by making small talk with her when the desire to kill someone was written all over my face. Yeah! But I ended up not being alone on the roof either. Kagome was sitting on a bench. What a coincidence. Was this her office or what? I see. I snorted and decided to look for a more secluded place. Leaving so soon? She called out to me. I must be intruding, and I wanted to be alone. You aren't, although you can do what you want. Alright, but watch out. You might regret this later. Stupidity isn't contagious. I shrugged, approached, and sat down beside her. Decided to hit your head against something in silence. And I immediately wanted to tell her to fuck off as well. No, I was waiting for your rating. Will you be using a 10-point scale or a 6.1 like in figure skating? You like figure skating? No, damn it. No. General knowledge, you ever heard of it? And then it dawned on me. I realized that she didn't care a bit about me, and that even made me glad. With everyone else, I had some kind of an emotional connection. Stronger with some, weaker with others. Himitsu, Catherine, Kyosuke, Michael, even Ichinose. And this girl was sitting next to me, not giving a damn. Which meant she didn't need anything from me. She wouldn't poke her nose to my business, or ask me stupid questions, and go on lectures based on her own experience, and make mistakes alone. Although, Kagome was still acting braver than a couple days ago. So what happened? You mean... You're weird, sure, but you've never hit your head against a desk before. Didn't I say? I wanted to check if there was a brain in there. And what's the verdict? Regrettably negative. That was to be expected. I love her. She smiled. Somehow, automatically, I did too. But Kagome immediately grew serious again. Seriously though, it's about this Catherine Winters, isn't it? Why do you think that? I'd have to be blind not to notice. Even if it is, what about it? It's not the most pleasant topic of conversation for me right now. Makes sense. Oh, oh! Damn girl, that smirk! Ooh! 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 I think Himitsu, there we go. I forgot her name. I thought I think Himitsu's smirk is a bit better, like in terms of like, but Kagome, I like. It's those characters that's like when they don't smile, that they don't smile very often, so when you do get those smiles, it's like, oh, that's nice. You know what? I abruptly stood up and got ready to leave. Alright, sorry, Kagome said placatingly. I'm not very good at getting along with people either. Now this was unexpectedly frank. But why either? Of course you weren't acting like that. How exactly am I acting? She frowned and turned to me. Like that. You know what I mean. Yeah, that's why she asked you to explain, because she totally understands. No, go on. God, I can't even go to school normal anymore. Why do you even go here in the first place? It's clearly not to study. And what about you? Enjoy being a punching bag that much? Bullseye. That hurt. Kagome bit her lip. No wonder she ditched you. I shouldn't have told her that. With you, the only options are hanging, drowning, or drinking poison. Or you could jump. I gestured towards the edge of the roof. You first, Anokin-san. No, please, be my guest, Kagome-san. This began to resemble a game where the winner was determined by whose patience would run out last. And I had no intention of losing. This roof was too small for the two of us. Oh, so we're that close already. We could be even closer. I don't mind. When the meaning of my words got through to Kagome, she blushed, jumped up, and quickly headed for the exit, leaving with one last word. Asshole. Hell yeah. Wonderful. I won. And my only applause was the quiet howl of the wind, with the rare, already yellow leaves in place of a laurel wreath. I had defeated all my enemies, and was left completely alone. Makes sense.